I'm Candace Doty, and today I will be talking about how to improve your communication skills, improve your life, by teaching you how to communicate effectively through electronic means. With more and more people communicating solely through electronic forms, it is vital people are aware of and reminded of proper etiquette when using these means of communication in professional settings as well as in casual settings. This presentation will focus on proper etiquette and tips for communicating through email and text messages. My hope is that you'll walk away from this presentation reminded of things you may have forgotten about communicating electronically, and that you will have acquired some new knowledge about it as well. Just to give you an idea of exactly how popular email is, I will be reading off some statistics that I found, such as adults will account for 87% of all U.S. email users in 2013. eMarketer expects there to be 216.6 million U.S. email users this year, representing 89% of total internet users. 2 out of 3 people in the U.S. will be email users in 2013. The total worldwide email traffic, including both business and consumer emails, is estimated to be over 144 billion emails a day at year-end 2012, and growing to over 192 billion emails a day by 2016. Email is the preferred method of commercial communication by 74% of all online adults. I think it is important to point out these statistics so you can see exactly just how many people use email and how the amount of people using email and how much they use it is expected to keep rising and rising with no signs of slowing down. These stats should help motivate you to want to become the best email communicator possible, because it just shows the popularity of using email as a main form of keeping in contact with others, and you want to do that in the most effective way possible. Now you have a good idea of how popular email is and how its popularity will just continue to grow. We will move on to how to properly use email. Email in the business world. 55% of marketing professionals agree email marketing is the most effective marketing tactic. 50% of small business owners agree email marketing is effective at engaging existing customers and attracting new ones. Email marketing remains critical to business, with 89% of respondents declaring email to be important or very important to their organization. We spend an average of 4 hours a day using email, meaning that email impacts approximately 50% of our working day. Adding to this, 39% of users regularly send, receive, and check emails outside working hours. These stats just go to show that the majority of people in the business world find email marketing to be a very effective way to market their business, and that email plays a very important part in marketing their business, thus further proving that learning effective email techniques is going to go a long way in helping attract customers to your company or business. I also thought the last statistic was a very important one to include, because it shows just how much time, a whopping 50% of the day, is spent using email in some fashion. I think it's important to keep in mind that although email takes up a considerable amount of a person's workday, you don't want to be the person to spend a good amount of that, or you don't want that person to have to spend a good amount of that on just dealing with your emails. You want to be able to send as few highly effective emails as possible. It shouldn't take you more than one email to get your message across if you know how to email properly. You should make sure you try to answer any possible questions or concerns in the initial email you send, so your email recipient doesn't have to waste precious time going back and forth with you over things that should have been addressed in the first email. If you become known for your good email skills, people will be more likely to want to open your email first and be more eager to communicate with you than with someone who has poor email skills. Your goal should be that you're able to handle all your email requirements during work hours, so that you don't have to tend to them once you're off the clock, and making sure your email skills are on point can help you achieve this goal. And some more tips for emailing in the business world is that if you make appropriate use of the subject line, you increase your chances that your email will be read, rather than mistaken for spam and deleted without so much as a glance. Also, no subject line is as damaging as a bad one. Know your purpose. Before beginning any email, ask yourself 2 questions. What is the purpose of the email, and what result do I want? What result, do I want? If you can't answer those questions, don't type the email. People respond to well thought out and clear messages. Be concise. Longer messages are difficult to read, and most people will put them aside. Proofread, proofread, proofread. Check for spelling, typos, and word usage. And also, when it comes to responding, it is common courtesy to do so within 24 hours. If you require more time, let the sender know you're reviewing the email, and you'll get back to them as soon as possible. While these are only a few tips for emailing most effectively, they're the ones I found to be brought up the most when researching email etiquette in the workplace, and the ones I feel are the most important. Some of these are tips that if you follow them will do the most important task of all, which is to get your recipient to read the email. The first and most important thing you must do to make this happen is to have an appropriate and attention-grabbing subject line. Now, once you get them to open your email, you don't want them to regret doing so, so you must make sure you know the exact purpose of your email and keep things concise and to the point so you don't overwhelm them and have an overly long email that they will not end up reading all of anyways. Also, it bears repeating that you must proofread your email. Nothing will turn a person off quicker from reading your email and maybe even deleting it before reading through it more than if they see you have spelling or grammatical errors. So basically, proofread like your life depends on it. Lastly, after you have sent your perfectly subject line, concise, and to the point, as well as spelling and grammar checked email, if the recipient emails you back, it is in good practice to respond to them within 24 hours. And this applies to when anyone sends you an email. And because it's that important, I found some statistics that said 69% of email recipients report email as spam based solely on the subject line, and 35% of email recipients open email based on the subject line alone. Due to the fact that getting a person to read your email is the most important thing when sending an email, I felt it was worth posting some more statistics about the importance of using a good and proper subject line. You want the subject line to clearly state the purpose of the email while managing to catch the recipient's attention and cause them to want to read your email immediately. Learning how to make an effective subject line will serve you very well in the world of email. And more email tips for both work and casual use are: a big one is to do not send an email when emotional or angry, to sit on it for at least 24 hours. Also, remember, email is not private. Don't put anything in email that you wouldn't want to share with the whole wide world. And avoid emoticons or texties. This should be reserved for personal email. However, even if the email is a personal one, if you're sending an email about a serious topic or want to be taken seriously, do not overuse slang and emoticons, or refrain from using them completely. You could use any of these tips on these 2 slides to make any of your business or personal emails better. However, personal emails don't usually require you to follow such rigid rules. However, I think you should follow at least 3 rules when sending personal emails. The 2 most important things you should remember when sending a personal email is that to save yourself later embarrassment or problems, you should wait at least 24 hours before you send an email where you are feeling super emotional or angry. You may need to wait even longer so that you don't send an email full of things you don't mean and can never take back. Along the same line, remember that email is not private and that your recipient can forward it to anyone, or someone could hack into their account and expose your email to whoever they choose. So be careful about what you put in every email and who you send it to, or it could come back to bite you. Another helpful tip is that even when you're sending a personal email, you shouldn't go crazy with slang terms and emoticons, because using those to the extreme can cause people to not read your emails or automatically discard your emails you send them because they find your emails silly and pointless.